everyone, this is Nadine again. Welcome to my channel. Today I would like to talk about Injective Protocol, or short INJ, which is an ERC20 token but also has its own blockchain, INJ, Injective Protocol. And whether that's a good idea to invest in and what it really is, that's what I'm going to talk about today. But before we do that, please give me a like. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. And subscribe to my channel to hear more content like this. So yeah, when we head over to the Injective.com website, you see immediately they advertise it as the blockchain built for finance. That sounds very vague and kind of mundane because lots of cryptocurrencies are created for finance applications. But what they really also advertise is an open interoperable smart contracts platform, which is optimized for decentralized finance. And you learn about what it really is in detail on their documentation site. I'm not going to go through everything here because it's very detailed. It has a lot of information also for developers if they want to develop decentralized applications on the INJ blockchain. What helped me more to just get a rough overview of the token was an article published by Cryptopedia, which was published in April 2022. So it's not the most recent explanation of INJ, but it's certainly for a rough overview, it's sufficient. So everything you need to know is essentially in the summary. So Injective Protocol facilitates cross-chain derivatives trading on Cosmos, Ethereum, and several other Layer 1 blockchain networks. To be honest, I don't think it's any other right now. So it's currently mostly Cosmos and Ethereum. I haven't seen any other blockchains that have been integrated in the INJ ecosystem yet. So Injective's decentralized exchange makes use of several cutting-edge technological innovations that afford robust network speed, exceptional security, and a high degree of decentralization. So network speed, I will make a comment on that later. Maybe it's just a temporary problem, but I quite disagree with that statement, but I explain why in a little bit. In terms of exceptional security, INJ uses proof-of-stake consensus algorithm like Ethereum does. It allows for delegation like ADA or Cardano and Tezos or Tron. But it has an additional feature in it which is called verifiable delayed functions. That allows or basically prohibits the reordering of transactions within a block, which prevents front running, which is essentially when someone who is a validator or a miner, they can delay certain transactions so they can insert their own transactions before, which can be, for example, before a trade, and take profit after the other transaction. So the verifiable delayed functions actually avoid that problem, so it makes it a little bit more secure, so you're not like losing profits during trades because there is some malicious actor. And then they advertise high degree of decentralization. So apparently INJ really goes another step towards decentralization, so their DEXs are actually more decentralized than others. I don't quite understand the technical details of it. If you do, please leave a comment. I haven't been able to really tease out what is really special about these decentralized contracts. What I know is that INJ really gives developers more like module-like tools that they can very quickly develop decentralized applications and exchanges. And they also have a decentralized order book, which is unique compared to many other decentralized exchanges because they usually work with an automated market maker and not order books. And then lastly, Injective Protocol enables gas fee trading through its layer 2 sidechain and is powered by its native utility governance token INJ. So Injective Protocol is, it's gas free, so you don't pay any fees for transactions. I personally don't think that's necessarily a good thing. because you want to keep the blockchain very efficient and fast. So lots of blockchain actually deliberately implement gas fees because that incentivizes developers to create smart contracts that are low on gas, because the gas is typically proportional to the computational load on a blockchain. So if you want to have lightweight smart contracts developed on your blockchain, it's actually an advantage if you have gas fees, because the developers really have to choose ways of implementing their smart contract so they don't load their blockchain with unnecessary computational load. So from that standpoint, I don't think low transaction fees are very good. Also think it doesn't really prevent people from spamming with transactions. So airdrops are very easy. You can just airdrop tokens to many users, which is a strategy that a lot of projects use, so they can show a lot of token holders. So the easiest way is just to airdrop to thousands of individuals into their wallets. So then they can show, oh, we have 10,000 holders already, but all these tokens were airdropped into their wallets. If you don't have any transaction fees, that's very easy to do. But if you have transaction fees, that may cost you thousands of dollars to do that. So there is a little bit of a barrier for that type of behavior. So I'm not super happy about the low gas or the gas free trading here and low transaction fees. Obviously for the end user, if the user is like behaving in a nice way and developers have anyways interest in developing efficient smart contracts, this is not a problem, and it's very nice for the user to transfer their money without any fees, obviously. But I don't think it's necessarily a good thing at the end. So yeah, and lastly, they have the INJ token is actually used for governance as well. So if you stake your INJ or you delegate it, then you can participate in making decisions about the blockchain's development, about parameters on the blockchain, and so on. So you can actively participate, and that's typical for a decentralized automated organization like INJ is. So across the board, they try to be very decentralized. They're trying to have a very fast and efficient blockchain. I have a little bit of a question there, but yeah, that's what they say. Yeah, so that being said, let's head over to CoinMarketCap. And it actually, when you look at the chart over all the time since it existed, which is, it got launched in 2020. So yeah, it looks very similar to many other cryptocurrencies. It also had this that's drop in June, and since then it has been a little bit recovered, while others completely dropped even more. So it might be, from that standpoint, it is at the low point, so it might be a good time to invest, because if you see, it's at right now I think it's at $1.90, yeah, $1.90, and one time it was up here, which is $20. So this is a 10x from the point where it's now to the all-time high. So if that recovers nicely and it persists, that could be a really good investment for you. But do your own research. This is not financial advice. It's really just my personal opinion. What I like also about Injective is that they've been posting here regularly in the chat, or in the chat on CoinMarketCap. They have 60.5k followers, so that's quite decent. Also, when you go to Twitter, you see they have 128,000 followers, or almost 129. So this is a good sign, even though the last post has been a while ago, I think. Oh no, it's actually quite recent. So, but the last pinned post was in August, and they say that Injective has raised a brand new 40 million round from some of the most renowned financial institutions to accelerate the adoption and growth of Web3 finance. So that is great that they got actually funding of $40 million. That really means that they have interest in keeping developing the blockchain. And so it's a very legit project in that sense. And so from that standpoint, I wouldn't be too worried about being scammed by the project. It has been around for a while, and they have legitimate funding. Also, when you go to their website, you have the sponsors they have or the partnerships. They're pretty good. They're even like, I think, Mark Cuban is also behind it, Binance as well. So that's a pretty good sign for a project. So lastly, I just want to talk about briefly speed. Yeah, because they advertise its low latency of the blockchain. I personally have some INJ, so I wanted to stake it. And so if you want to do that, you can head over to Injective Hub. So it's hub.injective.network. And you can connect with your Ledger or your MetaMask. I'm connected with my MetaMask right now. And I have INJ in ERC20. So you see my balance here in ERC20. And I don't have any INJ on the INJ blockchain. So what you need to do is to use their bridge to move your tokens from the Ethereum blockchain to the Injective blockchain. So that's what I wanted to do. So I went here to the Injective blockchain, Injective bridge. And as you can see, you can transfer it to your own address. And when you try to actually do that, so I do like 200 Injective here that I want to move from the Ethereum blockchain to the Injective blockchain. And then you have to set the allowance to allow the contract to move your tokens. So when you click on that, your MetaMask will try to confirm. And there are a few things you should be aware of. So it says actually here, by granting permission, you're allowing the following contracts to access your funds. So I'm just going to click here briefly, and I'm going to talk about this in quite a little bit. So yeah, so MetaMask's trying to confirm that allowance, and so it costs you about 45 cents, which isn't too bad. But what you have to be aware, so as it said, this contract here tries to have access to your funds. That's typically how things like a bridge actually operates. But what's a little bit worrying is that here they essentially, it's 1.1 times 10 to the 59th, which is essentially infinity, like an infinite amount of tokens will be allowed to be transferred back and forth by the contract. That is not a really good standard in terms of security, because you won't be able to reverse it. And I'm going to show you in a minute how you can test that, or like see that you can't reverse it. And normally this is basically, the approval should only be done for the amount of tokens that want to be transferred. But obviously it's a nicer user experience if you can reuse the bridge over and over again without having to press this confirm button. But it also means that the contract has unlimited access to your funds, and that can be exploited. And it has been in the past with other projects, for sure. So I'm not going to click on this right now. One reason is really that I don't want this unlimited amount being accessed, but also I've tried it before and it's not working. So I tried it with my Ledger. Eventually the transaction got dropped, which is kind of, surprising. And then I tried it again with MetaMask and it's still running 2 hours and 58 minutes. It hasn't gone through. And it's very surprising because the Ethereum network is right now not very busy. So I don't know what's going on here, if it's just temporary bug essentially, or if this is standard, or if something with, I don't think anything is wrong with my MetaMask because it's actually on the blockchain. The transaction is here. So it went there. It's just the processing somehow is stuck. So that it's pretty disappointing. But what I also wanted to mention, so when you actually go to the contract that is being created when you transfer your tokens, and you go to the contract and you go to write contract, these are the functions you have access to, or some of them you would. It depends on what wallet address is allowed to have access, but none of these functions here allow you to change the approved tokens or the update the allowance. And that would have been a way of reversing it, but it's not possible here. So it seems like the unlimited amount of tokens that you are allowing this contract to move will be there forever. So I don't think that's a very good way of implementing this. Obviously, so far it doesn't seem that it has been a problem. So yeah, you have to use your own judgment if you want to use this bridge or not. I think I'm just going to leave my injective tokens on the ERC20. You can stake those actually on Binance. I'm not sure in Binance US, but I staked it for a while on just a general Binance site, Binance.com. So that's another way how you can stake your INJ. I'm sure there are other ways as well. But yeah, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. And yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a like. If you are a new viewer, please subscribe to my channel, and you will hear more content like this in the future. Also leave comments what you think of my video. Any suggestions for future videos are very appreciated. But yeah, that's it for today. Thank you. Bye.